Greetings, one and all. What's up, family? How you doing today? Your brother is in the building. How you feeling? Hope everybody's doing well. I hope all of you are doing well. Live from the mathematical universe once again, Brother King Simon, the Numerovator is here. Remember, you can connect through Linktree. Connect to me through Linktree via Linktree/King Simon, the Numerovator. How are you this fine day on February the 13th? Yes. And of course, family, today, universally, if you pay attention to the count, universally, when you add it all together, it adds up to a number 14 today. That's right, adds up to a number 14. So today, universally, is a number 14 day. The one, of course, is reminding us, because like I say all the time, numbers came through to guide, not control. But it's an indicator when you see numbers or you start to add or subtract or multiply or divide numbers, you start to realize that if you understand the interpretation of each number, it can be very helpful on how you navigate or what we call the theme of the day. The theme of the day. So if it's a number 14 day, 1 plus 4 equals 5, but that 1 and that 4 is very significant. One, from a basic perspective, creativity. This is a day of creative thought patterns, creative ideals coming through to shine its light on all of you if you are open to accept it. The 4 is the mental number, the structural number, the disciplinary number, the one that allows you to build what is creative and what you have created. So again, when you look at the numbers, how we got to that point, remember 2 plus, I'm gonna put it on the board, 13, plus, some people go 2 plus 1 plus 3. I'm doing it an old-fashioned way, which you get a little bit more information from it when you do it the old way of how numerologists used to do it. So that will equate to a number 2039, which then equals 14, which equals a 5. It's just one perspective on how you add up the numbers. I'm going to put it on the board. And the other perspective is this way. I'm going to put it on the board also. I'm just typing it out. That's 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4. I know. You got to enjoy what you do. Believe me, family. To me, it's all about enjoying what I do. And if you enjoy what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Believe me when I say this. And still, across the board, it's consistent. It adds up to number 14 again. Okay? It adds up to number 14 again, which equates to the number which let me take that back, which equates to the number 5, bringing you back to the number 5. So we put it on the board so y'all can see it. There it is. Okay, so see now the old method of doing numbers, if you look at what's on the bottom here, when you in older numerologists, you go back into the 1800s and all that, you'll find that they'll do the 2 on top of the 13 on top of the 2024, where it's 2 plus 13 plus 2024, and then it comes out to 2039. That is helpful if you are studying these different modalities. That is very helpful to all those that are studying or are willing to open up and learn these type of things. It is very helpful. Why is it helpful? Because now you get to see multiple meanings and multiple messages. You know what I'm saying? Now you get to see multiple meanings and multiple messages in the number. So when I see, and Lloyd also taught me that particular methodology, that the older numerologists, where you find that the new apps are using the one at the end. They use the 2 plus the 1 plus the 3 plus the 2 plus the 0 plus the 2 plus the 4. Or some people would just go 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 8. So there's different ways to get to where you got to go. But if I did, let's say I did the way, because I've noticed that 220 plus 24 equals 44. Suppose I added 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 44. I get another answer, 50. If I added 2 plus 13 plus 44, I get another answer, 59. But it all breaks down to the number 5 at the end of the day when you go straight to the phatic way of interpreting and breaking it down to a single digit. So there's multiple ways to get. That's why I always tell people I do holistic numerovation. I want to get it from a whole. So sometimes if my spirit says to go to 2039 before I get to 14 or before I get to the 5, then I will break down 20 and 39. Or I will add up the 20 plus the 39 if my spirit lead me there, which equals 59. And then it gives me another dimension of what the interpretations of the numbers can be or can be telling the individuals that I'm doing the session with, because all these numbers are all around us. We are living math, like my dear friend born on August the 31st, who called me a day late and short for my birthday, but I love her still. Nairobi Sila used to say in her music, we are living math. So big up to Unc Rising Sun. He just hit me up on text message. So it's very important that we look at numbers from a whole perspective. And if you're doing television, like Lloyd does television a lot, I may do an interview here and there in television, and you try to keep it simple, then you will go with the simplicity of it. You might do the 1 plus 2, but you might do the 2 plus 13 plus 2024 real quick. Or you might do the 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 8 real quick, just to get, because in radio and television, especially terrestrial radio and terrestrial television, they have to keep it moving, especially when they're doing interviews. It has to be a moving thing. It's moving. So they only got a certain time in that concentric circle of radio and television. That's why you see Charlemagne and the Breakfast Club on radio. You see they'll do news reports, they do Just with the Mess, they'll do the Donkey of the Day at certain segments, because people are looking for those certain segments at that particular time, when, especially if you're doing a morning show. The fastest show, so all you people that's interested in getting into morning or radio or television, the fastest show is the morning show, because the morning show, as I was also a morning person way before Charlemagne and all these new guys, all these cats, all these brothers, I was a morning person on WWRL 1600 AM. So the morning show is the fast-paced, turn it up, from the beginning. That's why you will hear somebody like Charlemagne go, "Yo, what's up, yo, 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 yo." You know, he's waking you up in the morning, because a morning show is supposed to be a wake up show. And I love doing morning show. I wouldn't mind doing a morning show again, but Lord have mercy, to get to the studio at 4 or 5 in the morning to prep for a 6 o'clock to a 10 o'clock show. It's all right. 6 o'clock, sometimes I'm still rolling over in my bed. I usually wake up between 6 and 8:09, 6:06 and 8:09 in the morning, or 6:06, 7:07, or 8:09, or even 9:09. Those are particular times that I find myself waking up every morning. It depends on what's going through, how I went to bed, whatever. Because like last night, I started watching Lawman, Baz Reeves. Very good show. I really enjoyed it. I see the interest, and the African actor from out of England. He's very good. I have to admit. I'm not going to mention his name to butcher his name up, but he's an Aries #1. He's born April the 1st. I had to check out birthdays. You know me, and he did that. And what's so interesting, Aries being that number that's connected to the number 9. Going through numerovation now. I looked up Baz Reeves' birthday, and although they only got the month he was born with the year he was born, when I added all of that up, it added up to a number 9. So the way Baz carried himself, he could either be a number 1 or a number 9. But his life path, when I added those two, when I added the 7 and the year he was born, because July is connected to the number 7 and the year he was born, I found the number 9. So he was an excellent gunsman, and the number 9 rules weapons. So I found that very interesting when I looked up Baz Reeves' birthday. And shoot, I'll look it up right here in your face. I'll look it right up in your face. Got no problem looking up people's in their face. Because I'm about that life. And when you're about that life, you look up stuff. You know what I'm saying? When you're about that life, you look up stuff. You know what I'm saying? And he was a gunfighter and a farmer. They say he was born July, that's 1833. So he was born July plus 1833. They don't have no day, 1838, I'm sorry. They don't have no date that he was born. They don't even have the date that he died. He died on Dr. Khalid's birthday, which was January 12th, 1910. So when I added up 7 plus 1838 of Baz Reeves' birthday tells me, because I don't see a date, I only see the month that he was born and the year he was born. It tells me that he could have been born either under that number 1, 9, or in the Leo spectrum, going towards July 28th, 27th, and those numbers, because of the way he, apparently when I read his story, the way he carried himself. But this was good, because when I added 7 plus 1838, that add up to 1845. And when you add all of that across, when you have that 1 plus that 8 plus that 4 plus that 5, that equals 18, which is a 9. So it brought me there. That 9 brought me. So it's not coincidence that Baz Reeves' month and year still brought forth the number 9 energy, which he was a lawman and he was proficient with the guns. And he died of I believe it was he didn't die of gunshots and all that. He died of a disease. That's really what he died of. What they call it. I have it here on Wikipedia, looking at it, how he died. Life, career, boom. And yeah, he died of what they call it. I forgot what they call it. It was a disease. I looked it up yesterday, but I looked it up because I was going to share it with a few of my doctor friends that they should study those type of things. I shared with people like Dr. Shakira Moore, I'll share, like, if I see certain things, that because these type of diseases can come back or already here, they're still here. So people, it's good for people that are studying holistic health to find out. But I know I had it right here. I know I had it, but let's not go. Let me not keep on looking for that. But I know I seen it last night. I'm studying. I'm always studying. Every movie or television show I study, I look up their birthdays to find out why those two characters are meshed. Why are they together in these and believe me, at least 90% of the time, I found that the two people that are either the main characters, either in the love story or in the villainous story, they have the mathematics that said yes, they would make a good villain in life. Like, for instance, Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan is born February 9th. Chadwick is born 11/29. 2 plus 9 equals 11, which is a 2. And in numerology, the 2 and the 9 are challenging numbers to each other. so I'm just saying, I just can't. And I've done it numerous times because I'm always doing case studies. See, this is not blue blockers, so I'm going to have to put on my blue blockers because it's really bothering my eyes. And when you know your numbers, that's when you start picking up on things. And as I'm looking into this computer, it's not doing its job. It's because it's not a blue blocker. This is a blue blocker. So I'm putting on my blue blockers. Thank you, KT. Thank you, Dr. Africa, also for introducing me to my first blue blockers back in the day before I even heard it on out of KT's mouth. Then I bought 2 from KT, and I bought 1 that Dr. Africa told me to get because him and his wife used to wear blue blockers. Him and his wife still wear blue blockers today in front of her computer. Because that protects you from the madness of the eyes of the computer, protects your eyes. And because I'm born under that number 1 frequency, I need these type of energies to protect my eyes. I need that kind of stuff to protect my eyes. So this is a numerovational flyby, and update, of course. So I'm glad that I am one of those people that when my spirit, my energetic spirit, because it is energy, your spirit is an energy within you. I'm glad that I'm one of those people that when my spirit says go to research or look it up, and I've been like that since I was young. That's why I dropped out of school. I was bored. It wasn't that I wasn't smart, because I was good at math and when I was younger. I'm not a mathematician, but I was definitely good at when you gave me a test. The mathematician, like in Mr. Verson in Erasmus, I used to pass his class and then walk out of it. I got 98 and then I left, or I got 97, or I stay within the 80s and 90s and I'm out of there to go smoke some weed and mess my life up. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. So go smoke some weed and go have a hooky party with my friends. Then I'm go party with some gal that's having a hooky party with me. But let me not digress. Let's get back into the lesson, shall we? But so understand, when you're dealing with numbers, and I've said it before, numbers don't care if you believe in them or not. They work behind the scenes, whether you believe them or not. And usually when you add up the fullness of your day, or add up the fullness of the year, fullness of the day, the month, and the year, that's what we call the universal number for everybody else who's not born on that particular day. So if you're not born today, it's a significant theme for you. If you're not born today, because it adds up to a 14, which is a 5 in the 2 methodologies that I use, or it might add up to a 50, depending on the one that I mentioned earlier, or it might add up to 59. Those energy, you could ride the wave of that energy for that particular day, because that is the day that the number is advising you to be creative, be productive, be willing to deal with crowds of people, be willing to expand and grow, be adaptable, be improvise, adapt, overcome, as the number 5 is connected. So even when you read in my book, Numerovation for Mental Stability, about the number 5, come here, baby, come here, baby. One of my good books. The good book says, the good book So when I go to the number 5, so when I go to the number 14 first, and I'm not dealing with the 13 yet because that is a personal day for the person that is born. It's a personality day for the person that's born. So today is Dr. Blair's birthday. Today would be Dr. Blair's 91st birthday. Our late great Dr. Blair. So we're doing a nice little thing for Dr. Blair tonight. I hope y'all can tune in. We're going to be doing a nice little thing for Dr. Blair tonight with my brother Jerry Miller, who is also a metaphysics teacher, and a very good at the Oregon energies himself, like Ankh Rising Sun and the rest of them. So yeah, we're going to be doing a nice tribute to. That's just one of the updates to let you know we're doing. And I stand corrected. Dr. Blair did transition on January the 31st, 2016. Last time I came on here about Dr. Blair, I said 2015 because I was looking at my flyers and realizing that he didn't make my event in 2014 because he had gotten sick and he wasn't able to travel anymore. And then he transitioned in 2000. That whole year, he had kind of disappeared. I was trying to contact him, and I would talk to him. He definitely would talk back to me in the phone. And then, after that, he just kind of got quiet. And then he transitioned on January 31st, 2016. And that's the same year Dr. Sebi transitioned in August in 2016. So August 6th in 2016. So I remember Blue Pill saying to me, man, our giants are leaving, man. And Dr. Blair was a giant, no doubt. Dr. Blair was a giant. No doubt in my mind. And him and Dr. Sebi was born the same year, 1933. And people that are born in 1933, let's break out the numbers. Let me break down the numbers. 1 + 9 + 3 + 3 equals 16. So they were very intuitive people. They were very deeply thoughtful, deep thinkers, and were able to disseminate the information from their own creative and humanitarian way, looking at the 1 and the 6 again. And then that 7 brought them the attraction that they wanted, because the year is significant. So even if you look up an older person's birthday and they don't have a year, or they just have a month and a day, you can also find some real interesting things about that person just by looking at the month they were born and the year they were born, or just the year that they said they was born. And sometimes the year that they transition is very important too, because everything has its patterns, cycles, and sequences. So more than likely, when you have people that transition, let's say you're born in July and you transition in January, like Baz Reeves did. Baz Reeves was born July of 1838. They don't have a date, like I mentioned earlier, but he died on January the 12th, 1910. So what makes that interesting? Because we know that Cancer is the opposition to, or the other side of, Capricorn, that would also cause a certain amount of stress on that person during that time. So Baz Reeves dies during the Capricorn energy. So more than likely, he's born around that Cancer and that Cancer energy. So he could be born around the 1st, the 9th, 7th, even the 5th, or connected to those numbers, because especially 5, 7, and 9. Why I say that? Because 5, 7, and 9, according to the studies of numbers, are usually the ones that are drawn towards police, the law enforcement, and the 8 in a certain degree. But what I've noticed is that 5, 7, and 9 are very good at being very secretive and being very good at keeping certain things and being elusive in a certain way. The 8 will more likely be the judge or the lawyers of that particular time. But I can see where, because July 1838 adds up to 1845, there you see the 9. now you see where that 9 energy of Baz Reeves would go towards the law. And he would just sit towards being a lawman and dealing with the gun instead of being the judge behind the seat, that he kept on going back into the courts to watch what's going to happen and what's the deliberation for the people. He admired the court, I can tell. He respected the court, but he also, again, that because they said he had a very good heart. And he always, if you watch the movie, if you watch the Baz Reeves series, they always said he had a good heart. And they said he always tried to look for the good in the man that he captured. Like that brother that he captured, and he heard his story, but because Bass Reeves at that time, or in the series, he respected his job. He never wanted to, and he respected what he signed as a contract with that judge. He always still had to carry you in, still had to submit you to whatever law you said, because you did commit the crime. So that number 9 energy is also is also telling me something, because 9s can be a very humanitarian number also. You know what I'm saying? So that really pulls me into that 9 that he has, that's equating between. And also being a Cancer, they love to listen to stories. They like to hear things. They like to hear and get what they feel from it. So, it makes sense for Baz. See, so now you start to eliminate all of the, and check out, not eliminate, but check out all the nuances when it comes to those reading and understanding and breaking down those numbers. Very important, and what do y'all think? Let me look at the chat. Let me look at the chat. So people on the chat saying, well, they are so interested to know the correlation with these numbers. Yeah, they have power. Yeah, very much. AB, they have very much the correlation, the number. Look, you can't find out that person's chart in astrology without knowing the numbers. You got to know the longitude, latitude, where they was born, which is the longitude, latitude, the time they was born, numbers, the day they was born, numbers again. And so you got to know, and then you got to either study the patterns, like Araku will study the patterns. So you might tell him what pain you went through, and then he'll automatically compute certain things that might have been attracted around that pattern of that zodiac. So you got to know the patterns, cycles, and sequences, and that all is connected to numbers. You know what I'm saying? So yes, it is really true. Powerful. So yeah, you got to dig the details. I go into the details. I dig all that detail. But depending on where you're born, yeah, you would, and especially with that name, with the name Dorothy itself. Dorothy deals with, remember the name Dorothy with the D and a lot of O's in your name, especially that first name. Remember, O in the Chaldean system is the 7. So you got 7 in that name. And then you got the 4, which is the lead number, the D. So those are mental numbers that likes details. So that's why if I look at your name, I'll say, okay, I may know your birthday at another time, but if I look at your name, if you tell me a name that you are resonating with, then I can see where your energy will go, because remember, the name also gives you the expression of who you are. It gives you the soul of who you are. It gives you the quintessential you of who you are, but it also reveals the gifts, talents, and skills that you have also. You know what I'm saying? So, oh yeah, phone numbers is the same thing. Somebody asked about, yes, the phone number. Usually many numerologists deals with the last 4 digits of the number. So when you see my number, on the screen, if you go directly to the last 4 digits, some people, I like to deal with the 7 digits when I break down the numbers, but that 4 digit is like the faster indicator of what you need to look out for in that number. Like when you look at my number here, the last 4 digit is 1022. 1022. The 10 is one of my numbers. And 22 plus 2 plus 2 equals 4 is one of my numbers. And then because 1 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2 equals 5, 5 is also one of my numbers because I'm born in the year of the 5. And 5 is a promotional number when you add just the 1022 to it. I didn't look at the 496. I didn't look at the 347. The faster indication of what you should do with that number is at the last digits. That's why it's good to have numbers that have the 22 or the 33 or the 88 or, or numbers that have the double in numbers. Then you'll know what type of frequency you're dealing with. Of course, 22 is a master number that deals with communication, technology, advertisement, radio and television. So I've been using this like this for years. This is not only my private, this is not only a business number, this is also my personal number. That's why people can only text me. Because if I don't know your number, you can't just call me. If I don't know who you are and you don't show up in my text or show up as somebody in I don't answer phones like that. I stop answering phones. So yes, the first indicator of what you should do with your numbers is the last four digits you should pay attention to. Now, if you want an overview of it, then you pay attention to all 7 or 10 digits. But those 7, because the 3 digits that lead, those are usually area codes for that particular area for that phone. You try to focus on at least the 7 digits, the 4961022. Or when I want a quick indication, 1022. Now I know what I needed to do with that business. That's why that was so important for me to use that as a business number. So when you hear it, 347-496-1022, you always remember that 1022, or you definitely going to remember 22. You know what I'm saying? Just like when you see lawyers, 1-800-LAW, or 1-800-LAWYERS, or 1-800-222-2222, or 888-8888, or 333-3333, or 4444, or 1044, 10. That very important. 1099. Very important to pay attention to those last 4 digits when you're trying to get a new number for yourself, and ask yourself, what are you trying to do with the number? Obviously 1022, my number, adds up to a promotional number. So that's what I do. I promote. And the number 5 deals with flexibility and adaptability. So I can use it for family. I can use it for consultation. I can use it for multiple things because it adds up to the promotional communicable number 5. So that's dealing with the last digits. The last 4 digits is what a clear and faster indication when you want to go quick, fast. But when I'm doing a session and I want to look at the numbers, then I will look at the whole thing holistically again. 496. So when I look at 496, 4 plus 9 plus 6 plus equals 19. 19 is my number. I'm born on the 1st. That's one of my positive numbers that I can use. So 1 plus 9 equals 10. And then when I add it up, when I add it all together, when I add up the 1 plus 2 plus 2 equals 24. Number 24, which equals a 6. You got to be compassionate about what you do with this number. I had to be compassionate about what I do with this number. I had to be disciplined with what I do with this number. And because it added up to the 6, healing, helping. So I help people with this number. I help people with this number by doing what I do as far as a numerovator. I help people with this number. So 4961022 adds up to 24. So look what I got. Look what I got. I'm just saying. It's not a coinky dink. You know what I'm saying? Let me do it over. 4 plus 9 plus 6 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 equals 24. So I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do with this 4961022 number. I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing exactly what I am supposed to do. What are you doing with the numbers that you have? And if you look at Lloyd Strayhorn's number, look at his number. And I'm sure, look at the number, 4401. Look at that. Look at the last 4 digits first. 8 and 9. Boom. Lloyd's alignment number, because he's born 2 plus 16 equals 18. His alignment number, he's born February the 16th, which equals an 18, which is a 9. That last 4 digits is already connected to Lloyd. And Lloyd is doing an international work because 9 deals with being international and doing international things. I can't make this up. So when I add the 5 plus 8 plus 1 equals 32, interesting enough that the 32, again, that 5 come up with deals with promotion. So it's a 1-800 number, but he didn't count. I'm not counting the 800. I'm only doing 5814401, what you see on the screen. So it adds up to a 32, which is a 5. Again, like my numbers are similar, but I have 5 as the last 4 digits. And 5 is still that promotional number. So what does Lloyd does? He does his astronumerology, his promotion through his 800 number that happens to add up to a number 5 when you break down that 5 plus 8 plus 1 plus 4 plus 4 plus 0 plus 1. I'm just showing you how it works for the brother too. Oh yeah, it gets real on the field. So you want to be able to use the numbers connected to your name and your birthday to navigate better. It's all about navigation. It's not about controlling you. It's about navigating what you need to do to be your very best self and keeping yourself on the highest and wisest level of who and what you are. That's what it's all about for me. If you understand what I'm saying, put the number 1 in the chat. I don't care because I'm broadcasting on Facebook. I'm broadcasting on Instagram. I'm broadcasting on 2 of my YouTube channels. Hold on, let me just text this person real quick. Somebody's sending me a text. I guess they want to book a session. So let me just text this person. I never like to hold people up, but it is what year. Now. All right, so it's very important. And big up to Sister Zahalia, great martial arts empress, my sister. And everybody that's watching. So that's I don't want to get too deep and long onto that, but it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing when you are studying and applying and really using it, because you're not going to find everything in a book. Like this person says, makes total sense. After reading your book and other numerology books, I've been seeking to be more intentional with numbers and seeing if I should change my phone number. This is very helpful. I'm glad it was very helpful, my friend. AB, I'm glad it was very helpful. I'm glad it's very helpful. I'm glad it's very helpful. I like to keep it simple, but I know it can get deeper. You know, some people are afraid to come to people like me because they think I'm going to read them about people always call, I was kind of nervous to do this because they never did something like this. And usually when you step out of your comfort zone, you do get nervous. I get nervous every time I go on certain stages. I remember the time that I was most nervous was 2 times that I was most nervous on stage. Opening a show for Shabba Ranks in 1990. And then being the MC of the Marley Magic show at Irving Plaza was very nerve-wracking to me. And because my alignment number adds up to a number 3, I have to be very careful of letting anxiety and my nerve get the best of me. So I had to calm down. I had to go to the bathroom and calm down. And note, the bathroom is backstage, yes, but that backstage people was already in the back. So I had to run to the other end of Irving Plaza. Those who know Irving Plaza in Manhattan, not too far from where the Palladium used to be in the 14th Street Union Square area. I had to run to the back of the bathroom in the midst of the crowd because there's a crowd of people in the bathroom they doing, but the men's stall are always free for some reason because women always got a long line. But I remember the show was about to start in 5 minutes and I was a nervous wreck because I was bringing on Ivad, who was part of Tough Gong at that time. I got the flyer right here too. I got the flyer. Yeah, I got the flyer in this book too. I was bringing on Ivad. I was bringing on two of the Marley children that was rolling, and Rita Marley, she was the closing act. You got the empress of reggae music, Bob Marley's wife. So I was a nervous wreck, man. I tell you no. I was a nervous wreck. It was Damian Marley, Julian Marley, and Rita Marley. Show you that I got receipts. That's a fly in my book. Look at that. And on the bottom, you'll see my name. It says MC Simon Templar. It says MC Simon Templar. So I was a nervous wreck for this one. It's in my book. It's in my book. And you can get my book on Amazon. So let's let you know that I'm not new to this. I'm not new to this type of life. And it's a motivational book for people who want to get into the promotional world. That's what this book is. That's what this book is about. Motivating you to promote your gift, promote your talents, promote your skills. The importance of it. I even got a glossary and I got a photo album in the back of the book. It's about 200 some odd pages, but it's a very good book for a motivational guide about how you promote your own self. I even have the 10 chapters on how to get sponsorships and all that kind of stuff, because I was a part of that whole thing. How to set up your own events for on a small budget. If you don't, I've done events and I didn't have no budget. That's how deep it got. And that is why I tell people to do their own thing, learn how to do your own business. And it doesn't take much. I mean, it doesn't take much for you to set up your own little show, your own little event. There's certain places that you can get for free. A lot of people don't know. You can get a library. If you got a library card at the major library, you can rent or get their facility for free. A lot of people don't know that. Ooh, you could get a small room, especially if you live in Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn Public Library, right there on Flatbush and Eastern Parkway, around that area. You can actually rent those venues for free. And right now they might just charge only for cleanup, which cleanup could be $150. I have a friend that works at the Brooklyn Public Library, that told me, yo, Simon, as long as you got a library card, it is what it is. You can get conference rooms at libraries to interview or to do consultation with your clients. You just have to set up the time when you need it. You just have to go online and type up the time and find out when it's available. In the big public libraries in your city, you can do this. I know, let me speak for New York. I know you can do it in New York. I don't know about any other place, but I know you can do it in New York. So I'm just trying to show people that when you recognize and know the gift of who you are and what you can do, there's nothing that can stop you. You understand? That's what I shared on my Instagram and my YouTube. There's nothing that can stop you. If you allow it to stop you, that's you allowing it to stop you. Big up to everybody that's on Instagram. I'm tuning in, watching y'all now. I just went back in the back page and watched the Instagram crew. What's up, Instagram? How y'all doing out in them streets? How y'all doing out in them streets, Instagram? Hit me up, say one, put a number one and put number one in the chat if you're on Instagram. If you're on Instagram and you can hear me clearly, put a number one in the chat if you can hear me clearly. I just looked at my Instagram, really. And don't be afraid to circulate, because the circulation is right there on the bottom. You can circulate finance to help the machine continue. Circulate to the mathematical universe all the time if you have to. But before I close out, family, I just wanted to share a few things that we got coming up. I'm going to be broadcasting on Twitter soon. I've reached a goal on Twitter. I've reached the goal. I just seen that I reached the goal on Twitter, so that's good. So I can go live on Twitter. Matter of fact, I can go live right now on Twitter if I wanted. I can go live on Twitter. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, by all means, come on over. Come on over. Come on, baby. Come on, baby, to King Simon underscore the Numerovator. That's King Simon underscore the Numerovator. I can now go live on Twitter, and I'm learning how to broadcast from StreamYard platform into Twitter. So I'm studying that right now. So I'll be able to do the broadcasting, because I'm already I broadcast on Twitter. I can broadcast on so people, I got a good consistent followers. I'm not up to 1,000 yet, but I guess as soon as I've reached 800, or they see people that are really working with me on, they said I can go live. I couldn't believe it when I looked at the thing. I said, oh, really? I can go live? Stop playing. You messing up. Now that the live thing came up, I said, oh, really? Let me see what go live look like. I'm going to go live real briefly on Twitter right now. All right. I'm going to go live on Twitter right now. Welcome to live. They just welcomed me to live. What up, Twitter? What's up, family? How y'all doing? Twitter right now. I am broadcasting live on Twitter right now. I mean, not Twitter, on TikTok. I'm broadcasting live on TikTok. I've always been broadcasting live on Twitter. I'm broadcasting live on TikTok right now. And big up to everybody on TikTok. And I am broadcasting live on Instagram. So I was just talking about, let me close out with this, because today is Dr. Delbert Blair's birthday. And if those who don't know who Dr. Delbert Blair is, please go and research him. He got some great videos online. Dr. Blair got some great videos online, but also Dr. Blair has some wonderful tools of healing on his website. And if you do get a chance to go to his website, I'm going to scroll up to my thing. His website is right there on the screen. Dr. Delbert Blair's website is Dr. Delbert Blair's website. Today would be his 91st birthday. Today would be his 91st birthday. Happy birthday to Dr. Blair. His website is themetacenter2.com. That's themetacenter2.com. So understand, when you're doing, Dr. Blair was into every facet of metaphysics, numerology, astrology, magnet therapy, diode therapy, all time meditation. He used to do with us a thing called the Golden Sun meditation. The Golden Sun meditation, where you imagine the sun in your, and he would advise us to actually go look at the sun briefly and then go and practice the meditation, because usually when you get that brief look at the sun, the sun impact is in your thoughts. So if you did that and then went into the sun meditation, boom, you could go right into whatever realm you want to go with Dr. Blair. Dr. Blair was one of those guys that stretched your thought patterns, stretched your mind beyond the physical into the metaphysical. And so today we're going to be celebrating. Let me reverse the camera for, let me see my Twitter fans in here that's coming up. Big up to Twitter, man. Big up to everybody on TikTok. I keep on saying Twitter. Big up to Twitter, big up to TikTok, big up to everybody on those channels that I do broadcast on. So this is my first time broadcasting on TikTok. So I'm happy. Let me share my TikTok. Are you going to put on together a retreat? No, not right now. But Queen Afua does want me to produce something at her place that she does retreat. So more than likely, I'm going to do something with Queen Afua. If there's going to be anything, here's my TikTok page. If those who want to be a part of my TikTok family, I'm going to put it in the chat right now. We'll put the TikTok in the chat right now. And big up to all of y'all on TikTok. Y'all know when I drop them. Hey, look, I drop numbers because I love it. I'm like Chronix. I do it for the love, man. I do it for the like. I do it for the love, man. I do it really for the love. I'm more likely going to do something with Queen Afua at her venue in Gainesville, Georgia. Because I can do I got a nice retreat theme in my head. I'm not going to say it yet because people chat to blood clot much. You know what I'm saying? Not going to say it yet because people chat to blood clot much. You know what I'm saying? But I have a nice theme that's not going to be like any other theme, because it's going to be a mixture of every little thing, you know. I just put it on my my screen too. if you want to reach me at TikTok, that is my TikTok. That's at King Simon _ the Numerovator. So let me close out why it's important. Rain, water, what's up, girl? All right, why it's important to understand the numbers, because even when you're dealing with what we call analytics on TikTok or YouTube and all that, that is numbers. That is a form of numerology. And numerology only means the study of numbers. And ladies, the word numerology came up from a woman named Dr. Julia Seton. So tap your breasts for that. Tap your breasts for that. No matter what. And she was adopted. So no matter what ethnicity she was, and background she was, it still came out. The name numerology came from a woman. They tried to give it to a man, but it came from a woman who traveled the world to promote this word called numerology. But she had a group that she traveled with, and then her daughter wrote a book on numerology. Her daughter's name is Juno Jordan. So if you want to get any books by this woman and her daughter who kept her legacy alive. And let me tell you a funny thing about finding out it was a woman instead of a man was because all these years I believed it was a Julian Staton. All these years. But my spirit didn't hold too fast to it for some reason. And then when I bought the Idiot's Guide to Numerology, and usually when you get into numerology and you just get into the layman's level, when I'm more about digging deep and finding deeper nuances of numbers. So I get the old versions of numbers. I get older numerologists. I bought her book, Julia Seton's book, for $100. And now the book is all ripped up. The book came beautiful, but because I'm looking through it and it's an old book, it started crumbling before me. So I have to go to a person and see if they could rebind it and all that kind of. Y'all think I'm joking? I don't have to joke. I don't lie to people about things. I don't lie. I don't have to lie because I ain't afraid of people. You know what I'm saying? I had to put it in plastic because I bought the book and it came nice and neat. Look what's happening to it now. It's ripping from the seams because I'm studying. I'm pulling it out. I had to study it because that's just me. I gotta find out. I gotta go in. I gotta go into our thought patterns and then recognize, because when you read somebody else's book, you're reading a portion of their thoughts. If y'all understand what I'm saying, let me show it to TikTok. If you're reading someone's book, you're getting into the mind of this person and what they was thinking. And what made me so interested in digging is that the word numerology was revealed in 1709. Oh, no, not 1709, sorry. In 1907. The word numerology was founded in coined in 1907. 1907. And when I read the numbers to 1907, if you add it across, 1 + 9 + 0 + 7 equals 17, which is an 8. But then when I look, because they don't have no birth date or month of Julia Seton, but they said she was born in the year 1862. So I'm looking at 1907, which adds up to 17, which is an 8. And then I want everybody out there to add up 1862. Add it across. What does it add up to? What does it add up to when you add the numbers 1, 8, 6, and 2? What does it add up to? See, now I'm helping you to learn how to do that, how to do it for yourself, how to consult the numbers. Put it in the chat. What does the number 1862 add up to? Come on, let me see my brilliant people up there. 1 plus 8 plus 6 plus 2 equals what? 8. No, come on now. 1 plus 8 plus 6 plus 2 equals what? Somebody put 9. I can see something's going on with you. 1 plus 8 plus 6 plus 2 equals what? Come on now. Some people moving too fast. Exactly. Somebody says 17. Exactly. And 1 plus 7 equals 8. So she found the word numerology in 1907. And 1 plus 9 is 10, and 10 plus 7 is 17, which is an 8. So now I start seeing patterns. Guess what year she died in? No. Don't guess what year. She died in 1950. Now that don't add up to an 8. But if you subtract and break it down, she died at the age of 88. I can't make this up. She died at the age of 88. She born in the year 1862, which adds up to an 8, 17, which is an 8. She created the word numerology in 1907, which adds up to a number 17, which is an 8. And then she dies at the age of 88. Patterns, cycles, sequences. 1 plus 7 equals 8. Break it down. Patterns, cycles, sequences. Pay attention to the patterns. Powerful. So that is what I see. That is what I started recognizing. And then there was no writings with Dr. Julian Staton. He don't even have a son or daughter that wrote for him. When I looked up a Julian Staton, I seen a regular person of this time in Facebook right now. They didn't have Facebook back in their day. They didn't have all that. So when I seen that, I was like, oh, wow. So back in those days, instead of giving, and it could be accidental and it could be on purpose. But back in those days, instead of giving it to the woman because of the male chauvinistic mentality of that time, they gave it to a man and changed the name from Julia to Julian, because Julian is the male male name for Julia. And then they changed the name, the last name a little. Her name is Seaton, but they changed it to Staton. So now it started making sense to me. I'm like, oh. And when I told Lloyd that, Lloyd said, wow, that's some deep observation, King Simon. That's really deep observation that you're dealing with. Yeah, I gotta study. I gotta look it up. Something wasn't holding to my spirit with Julian because I didn't get enough information about a Dr. Julian Staton. Julian Staton. So this man's name kept on coming up, but it only kept up coming up in the normal suspect places, the susceptible or suspect places. Just 3 places that I kept on seeing it. But then when I seen her name show up in the Idiot Guide, which I have that book on my shelf, I said, oh, and the Idiot Guide, a well-researched guidebook. That's why they dig it all up. They dig out all of that stuff. And I said, okay, now I can actually say. And then she has a book. She had a numerology book. And then her daughter, who she dedicates this book to, Juno Jordan. Both of them have passed on. They transitioned. Both of them. Even her daughter wrote a book called Numerology Romance with Numbers, or with Your Name. She even wrote a book. So I got both of their books. And I said, oh, okay, this is how they do. This is how we do it. Boom, 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 boom. This is how we do it. Na, 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 na. This is how we do it. This is how we do the numbers. Yeah, this is how we do it. This is how we do it. Yo, this is how we do it, baby. We go ahead and do the research and do the digs and find it. And because 7, all of my names, the Simon, the Anthony, the Tyrone, all of my names add up to a number 7 in the Pythagorean system. And 7 is the deep diving number. It's the number that has to do the research. All of my names, my first and my 2 middle names, all goes to the number 7. So I have to dig. If my spirit ain't holding on to what they teaching, I had to leave school one time. I said, I'm not holding on. There's something wrong with this school. I left Erasmus. I left Martin Luther King High School. I left a whole bunch of schools because something was wrong. I just couldn't feel it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. On that note, family, let me get ready to close out because I got to get prepared to deal with Jerry Miller and how I'm going to do this. And thank you, TikTok. I don't know how to leave this up yet because this is my first time broadcasting on TikTok. And I heard you could add guests too. You can actually have people come up here. And if they want to come up, meet your live pros. Okay, big up to all the live pros and all the people. Big up to y'all. This is my first time doing a live. So respect to all of y'all that are coming up on TikTok. Respect to everybody on Instagram that I'm broadcasting on. Respect to everybody on my Facebook channels on King Simon Productions Facebook, and also my private Facebook page, which is the Ministry of Numerovation Facebook page. And big up to my YouTube channels, King Simon Presents, and of course, King Simon, the Numerovation Nation. Of course, the Numerovation Nation. I want to thank each and every one of y'all. Remember, tonight, we got a special broadcast with the one, the only, tribute to Dr. Delbert Blair. Today is his born day. Big up to Freedom Williams, too, my man from CC Music Factory. Today is his birthday, too. I did text him. I think he's traveling because he didn't return my text yet, but I'm going to give him a call, see what's up. Happy birthday to him. Big up to Carrie Ann Ingram. Myself and her will be interviewing the one, the only Janine St. Louis, as she speaks for the first time about her love for Hashim Nzinga. What a love story in the revolutionary sense of the word. What a love story. So we're going to have her. And then on the 18th, we got Adara Moselle. Ooh, Adara Moselle is a tantrika. She's a master tantric shaman. She's a sensual masseuse, and she's a legal massage therapist, and she's a celebrity healer. So big up to her. I have her coming on the 18th. And then, you know, that day, Phil Valentine is doing all that he does on that day. He's rebroadcasting that thing right there. So it's going to be something else. And on the 21st, we got a candid conversation with the one, the only L.A. Wade is coming in, baby. L.A. Wade is coming in live and direct, thanks to my dear, dear sister, Freedom Williams. Yeah, love it. Yeah, that's my boy, Freedom Williams. We go back. Me and him go back. Big up to Freedom. Also on the 25th, we got Dr. Aleem Bey coming in, family. Dr. Aleem L. Bey is going to be speaking with me on Sunday, February 25th at 8 p.m. And then those that live in the Atlanta area, guess what? If you ever watch Hidden Colors, if you ever watched Tap TV, if you ever watched any documentary that had this man in it, for 2 days, I got Professor James Smalls on April the 6th at the YG Urban Cafe from 1 to 5 p.m., 640 Evans Street. Early bird tickets are $25 right now. Go to my link tree. That's / King Simon the Numerovator. Link tree / King Simon the Numerovator. Get your early bird tickets. It goes up on March 1st. Just letting you know that. Get your tickets. And then we have the second day is a private, no holds bar Q&A symposium. Private. All day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. with a 1-hour break, and you get to talk to the professor, but no videotaping, no live stream, no audio, and it's $99 for the early bird tickets. You could only purchase that through Cash App and PayPal, so you got to text me your full name and date of birth to 347. Text me if you want the Cash App or PayPal link to 347-496-1022. That's 3. Y'all don't want to miss this. Tickets are selling already, which I'm loving it. But I need to turn it up, get them early bird tickets. That's why I do tier systems. I learned this from from radio, I learned this during the tier system, from club life, all of that, producing, all of that. I learned this long time ago. Have a tier system, early bird tickets, early tickets, general admission. That's it. Keep it moving. If you want to go to that retreat in Jamaica, check out my girl Nia Love from Holistic Living Project. And remember, drlailaafrica.com, lailaafrica.com. Make sure you hit up if you want to take that holistic nutritional consultation course or counselor course. If you got music, you got to write things you got to do. You want to put it on reel or put it on somewhere and make some music. Hey, this is the studio to go to in New York City. It's 3 different studios. It's called greenstudionyc.com. If you got an audio book, I just started practicing my audio book stuff last night. So, it's going to be something else. I'm trying to make it part of my energy. I just don't want to do it in any old way. I just don't want to be I don't want to be monotone with my new book and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to send it to my son's studio. This link tree is going to be my new audio book called Numerovational for Mental Stability, and I'm going to put my energy in it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a tearjerker because I'm going to be talking about my life. Because it's in my book, so I'm going to talk about my life, but you're going to hear it in my voice. This audio book right here. It's going to be a tearjerker, but it's going to be a roller coaster of stuff to make sure you understand the importance of mental stability and maintaining your mind. Big up to CarrieAnnIngram.com or linktree/CarrieAnnIngram. Condolences to Carrie Ann and her family. Another person she just lost in her family, her uncle, man, and she just lost her grandfather. So make sure you hit up Carrie Ann and show her some love. Send condolences to her family just losing her uncle now, man. And man, so big up to her. She just lost her grandfather, but they just transitioned. So it's deep that you find people just one right after the other, because this is the time. Like Les Brown used to say, between 40 and 60, baby. Between 40 and 60, that's what happens. We start losing people and losing family and losing, it's just what it is, Big up to Lloyd Strayhorn, Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. Hit him up. Again, the audio book, my books are on Amazon and Kindle. And if you want to book a session with me, please text me your full name and date of birth. And if you live outside of the United States, use WhatsApp or Signal. But if you live inside of the United States, please text me via regular phone at 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. One day, TikTok, as we get up, I'm going to make sure I do break down numbers heavily on TikTok. I found out something very interesting about the owner of TikTok, the Chinese guy, and how it correlates with the word TikTok and his numbers. Yeah, I'm that dude. I start digging. But yes, family, thank y'all very much. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening. And remember, accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. And like Dr. B. Sirius says, I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection, and I am thankful for my life. And like Dr. Blair would say, please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth in your love now. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening. See y'all tonight as we do the great tribute to Dr. Delbert Blair tonight. I got to get up some clips and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to have some fun with Jerry Miller and all that kind of stuff. So get ready. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Peace out, and I will talk to y'all later. Take care. Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed. It's the Numerovational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now.
eye to eye, heart to heart, each one teach one, us. This is Professor Imhotep, the Island Monk, here at Warrior Kido Jiu-Jitsu, Way of the Warrior Spirit. So we're here to go over the rules and try to make that as swift as possible for you guys. So the rules essentially are very few. Number one is to follow us on TikTok at the Island Monk, or if you have Instagram, you can follow us at Warrior Temple Island University, or if you really love us and want to show us support, you can follow us at both. You're going to find the Kata Shodachi, and you're either going to duet us on TikTok or collab with us on Instagram and win 10 tickets for every additional video you do beyond that. So as we say with all the warriors, eye to eye, heart to heart, each one teach one, us.
So remember, our job as studiers of these metaphysical, esoteric knowledge is to help enhance people to be better. I, as a numerator, using the numbers, or quote-unquote numerals, and motivation to get people to understand why they need to activate their numbers to be their very best self and maximize it. Because the numerals hold a frequency. And if you're willing to turn up that frequency, then that frequency can help to guide you and navigate you to a higher height that will allow you to spiral to be your best self. We must remember that.